Hey, what's up guys, this is Gian with TurboFilipinos.net and we're here at the launch of the Android One here at Whitespace Makati. Well, very exciting news for all of us because two of our favorite providers, Cherry Mobile and MyPhone, are going to start offering their first Android One devices. Our internet is powered by Smart LTE. Live more. Well, I've got a few questions, if you don't mind.
That's all.
Again, my name is Gian from Gadget Filipinas. And one of the questions I have is that currently you have your hardware reference, and for now you have 7 devices from different OEMs. Are you looking after coming up with or having more of those?
Many
more.
There are many more coming.
And I've seen that I think all of those OEMs are quad-core devices. Are you going to jump from quad-core to octa-core soon, or are you just going to stick at?
No. So we started with one family of chipsets from MediaTek.
Yeah.
But now Qualcomm's also joined Android One. So you'll see Qualcomm products also shipping fairly soon in the next few months, as well as other chipset lines from MediaTek.
Yes.
So you should think of Android One as the very beginning. It's the first step. And as time goes on, you'll see more chipsets coming, more specs, different types of like 5-inch devices, 5.5-inch devices, HD screens, also different manufacturers.
Yeah.
Today we're launching with Cherry Mobile and MyPhone. They were just super fast. They were very fast to market, and they know the market really well. They're very aggressive. They move fast. But there are a lot of like global brands that are also working on bringing their products to Philippines on Android One. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I have a question. The initial announcement said that you guys would bring Android One to the Philippines, I think, by the end of last year.
Yes.
So what did you make any changes so that it would be better, so that when it would arrive?
So I think the biggest change when we discussed this with our partners, and one of the things we realized was Android Lollipop had just launched.
Yeah.
And everybody felt it was better to bring the products into market with Lollipop than like a few weeks before with KitKat, right? So we switched our plans and said, let's work on getting Lollipop. So all the Android One phones here will ship with Lollipop. So you can imagine, like, these will be some of the first phones in the market with Android Lollipop on them.
That's true.
But when is it specifically going to be available?
I think in the next few days.
In the next few days.
Yeah, so over the next few weeks, like Cherry Mobile and MyPhone are rolling it out to all the stores nationwide.
Do you have also partnerships with telcos, local telcos like Smart?
Yes, so we've partnered up with Globe as well as Smart & Son, and all of them will be offering these innovative data plans, which two things the data plans will do, and they all have partnerships with like different OEMs. I don't know the specifics. I think Dale can give you the specifics. But they'll be offering a bunch of data for free downloads of apps from the Play Store, so people can get a sense for like what it's like to download apps and use the Play Store. And second, the OS updates will be free from a data perspective. So if you imagine, like, not only will these phones have Android Lollipop on them, but when Android M ships later this year, these will be some of the first phones to get Android M, and not cost any data to get them. So basically it'll be free from a data perspective through these partnerships.
So it's like you're bringing the Nexus experience to the lower
Absolutely, exactly. It's the same experience, but for the mass market across partners.
Here in the Philippines, we usually classify the entry-level phones as sub $100.
Yeah.
And the mid-range phones as sub $200, and the high-end as everything else. So I know Android One will be in near the $100 range, probably a little over or a little under. Do you have plans of coming up, like what you mentioned earlier, this is like the first step?
This is the first
step. Do you have
step.
plans of coming up with the $200 variants with better specs?
Yeah, so that depends on our partners. So, Erwin, how are you? I heard you were stuck in traffic for a bit. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I think the best, you'll see all kinds of different types of. The best way to think of Android One is sort of like, I think Ren from Gadget gave me this example, so I'm going to steal his example and use it. It's like we've defined a recipe, working with our, working with the silicon vendors, and working with our partners. We're also sort of specking out the best ingredients. So we've said, okay, these 3 types of pork or these 3 types of chicken are really high quality. And now when you pull it together, right, you can decide what kind of a dish you want to make out of those set of recipes and all the different ingredients. And so partners are producing like phones that are 5 inches and HD displays and 8 megapixel front camera and things like that. So we'll see all these sort of different things come over the next few months.
So we can expect like a second wave of mid-range.
Many waves.
Oh, okay. That's
So
good.
this is after the launch. Now every partner can launch on their own. So it'll be like, whenever a partner is ready, they will launch their Android One phone.
So the initial is just Cherry and Star. But there's nothing stopping like the other local.
iPhone and Cherry Mobile. There's nothing else, nothing stopping the others from their other partners. These were the 2 who moved fastest, and so we decided to launch the program along with them. But after this, you'll have more OEMs coming in. They've already announced, many of them have announced that they're, they haven't given specific timelines.
Lenovo, I think.
There's Lenovo, Lenovo's making a fairly big bet. Acer, Asus. Sure, Gilbert can do the list. There's a long list.
So that means your partners will be able to sell or come up with their own phones for as long as it's compliant to the reference, to the hardware reference. Now, I have a question about some of the vendors or OEMs here in the Philippines or sellers in the Philippines. Like for example, Cherry Mobile and MyPhone. They have the knack of putting in some bloatwares or software on top of the vanilla experience of Android. Will you be allowing that for Android One?
So we'll be allowing a small number of apps that they can put on the phone.
Yes.
But these apps have to be on the Play Store. These apps run with the same privileges that you run an app from the Play Store. But more importantly, the overall software experience for this is directly from Google, right? So there aren't any random background processes running. So it's a stock Android experience. So you get basically the Nexus experience you have.
Will you have the say in the design of these applications? Like they have to be compliant with the design, with
well, it has to be compliant. It has to meet the Google Play requirements. But beyond that, it's really, this is our partner's phone, and so they can put the right apps on it.
Thank you.
Okay, while they're thinking, I have another question. How did it do in the first markets that you launched?
Yeah. So Indonesia is just 2 weeks back, so we haven't really heard back from users in Indonesia yet. But press feedback has been very good. You should try the phones out. I think what we hoped would have come through was that people would recognize the performance and the speed and the quality of the experience, even in a phone that's actually pretty moderately priced, affordably priced. We have the same feedback from Indian users. So India, it's been going on for a couple of months. So big pieces of feedback from users has been generally on the quality and the speed. But also OEMs are reporting seeing much fewer returns and lower service issues on Android One phones.
Okay, that's actually one of the biggest problems here with
Which is true across everywhere, right? People see a lot of service issues. And it's not really the fault of the OEMs, right? If you think about what's involved in producing a phone, even before you can make anything unique, just to make a simple phone, right? You have to pick the components, you have to put it all together, you have to get the software to work really well. And every OEM here ships like 30 or 40 different models, right? Do it 30 or 40 times over. So the way Android One started was a lot of these OEMs came to us and said, look, we want to produce high quality phones, but we're all doing sort of the same kind of work. We're all like trying to make sure that the camera works well, and make sure that the Wi-Fi works well, and make sure that connectivity works well, and the screen has reasonable touch. Google, can you help us somehow? And so we worked with MediaTek and Qualcomm, and the plan we came up with was, it'd be much easier for everyone if we sort of create these recipes, right? Create these specs, the reference boards, designs, and then qualify a certain set of components. So people can sort of get a certain level of uniformity, but through that they get also much higher quality, and then they can focus their innovation on the parts where it really matters, right? They can bring the right services in, right apps in, but honestly, there is nothing unique in making the Wi-Fi work better. And you just have to do it. Right? So that's what sort of Android One brings to the table for all of our partners. That just the basics, Google used to just provide the software earlier. Now we provide the software as well as the reference designs, and sort of a qualified list of components. Again,
Speak about some stuff in there.
yeah, so you should take a look at it. And this is my personal phone. It's an Android One phone. This is a pre-production device. It's the one that
same
Cherry
thing,
Mobile,
is it?
yeah, this is Cherry Mobile is shipping. And like I live on it, and the general you'll see the general level of performance and speed on this.
It's in Tagalog.
Tagalog. It's in Tagalog.
Gumawa.
Gumawa.
To show you that it's actually up.
My phone is not in Tagalog.
Okay.
You can change it to English anytime.
This is amazing.
You can check
The
out
build's nice.
It is.
just check out the performance and responsiveness. And these phones are less than 5,000 pesos.
Yeah. This is the, I don't know if you, this is a Symphony, I think it's a Symphony OEM. How do you call it? They sold this, I think, in Bangladesh, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so different countries, OEMs go get it from the same ODM.
ODM.
So this is already Lollipop.
Yeah, these are all lollipops. So you already see the lollipop features, right? First, you'll see. First you'll notice the material design UI, right? The UI itself is a complete rewrite, and it's just very fresh, bold, edge-to-edge colors. Then a couple of other lollipop features which are very cool are, overall you'll find lollipop is much faster than previous versions. It's about, in some aspects, almost twice as fast as previous versions. But then there's this wonderful task switcher. You can see how many apps I've had open, right? To switch between. I have to be careful because this is my own phone. So I'm showing you all my apps.
I'm still using Jelly Bean. Yeah, I'm still using a Jelly Bean, but I wanted to switch on Lollipop.
Hopefully now we'll get you to switch.
Wow,
to
yes.
Lollipop.
Time to switch.
Probably.
How much is the
How much
actual
is
SRP?
What's an SRP?
The price.
the price of
I
it?
think Cherry Mobile and MyPhone will
they'll be the ones
specific,
They
but
will be, and then magdidemand.
it's less. It's around 5,000 pesos.
Well,
Will they be able to sell it through their shops or always via telco?
It's completely up to them, and I hope they're selling it everywhere. They tell us they're going to sell it everywhere.
Going back to a question raised earlier about pre-installed apps by OEMs, you said that it's okay with companies installing apps as long as it comply with certain requirements, like I think it's the Play Store. And so what rules do you tolerate?
No, not tolerate. It's an open. If it's on the Play Store, then the apps can be updated. Right? That's what we care about. We want that people are able to get the latest versions of the apps. Also, when apps are on the Play Store, we know that they'll work well with the OS. Our goal is really quality. We want to make sure, independent of there's a perception that you can, you have to pay a lot of money to get high quality phones. We want to change that. We want to make sure, even if you're able to only pay, $100, you can still get a very high quality experience. I live on this phone. Look at my call history and see this is my personal phone. Not that fast.
So it won't be available yet, later. You can buy it.
You can buy it.
Can we buy now?
In the coming weeks. I don't know exactly when they're launching, but in the next few weeks, they've told us they'll be getting it into stores everywhere. But also, Android Lollipop has a bunch of other features. You'll see you see the notifications, and then you pull down the shade once more, and you have quick settings right there, right? There's also this feature called Battery Saver that shows you how you can save battery. The other interesting thing about Android One phones is these are optimized for markets like India and Asia. So all these have extendable micro SD support, right? And then dual SIM. And then replaceable batteries.
So you'll be selling the batteries also?
The partners will sell batteries, right? So we're not in the selling business.
Yes.
We're a platform provider.
Okay.
And then all Android One phones also have FM radio built in.
Wow.
So the features that we think are pretty important for this market. And then we've done a bunch of work on top of that to sort of really optimize this experience for the Philippines. So I don't know, is that connected to the internet?
I don't know.
Yeah, so you'll see that you can try it later on one of the devices. voice. So we've optimized it for Filipino, and you could so it recognizes Filipino very well. Translate's also been optimized for Filipino, and then you should definitely check out YouTube offline.
When you say it recognizes, you mean the intonation or
The intonation, the accents.
wow?
Kumusta ang schedule ko bukas?
But it won't, will it understand Filipino? No.
Doesn't have internet
So
connection.
it's
Oh, there's no internet.
It's on my phone and then Cherry Mobile.
It's nice.
You can try it on one. Although other phones are all connected.
Yeah, they're all connected. The phones that are here,
So,
you can test
but try the language. You know, I am told it's very good. We measured it's good. You should tell us how good it is. I don't speak Filipino.
Galing ah.
Cool ah. Tagalog pwede ano siya.
So these are examples of things there's someone here in
No, we
Baka
installed.
after
these are just for the
couple of
demo.
months na ito, puro makita natin, puro
OEMs
nakaganyan na yung
install
mga naka-Cherry Mobile na dati.
But really the goal is to sort of democratize high quality mobile phones, right? So people get it, they should be able to run like all the things. Because there used to be a time when people used their phone just for making phone calls and sending messages. But now smartphones are, you know, they are your entertainment device, they're a communication device, they're a social device, and like so many different things you can do.
Sabihin mag-ship na ako.
So it's basically like your Nexus Lite.
It's an it's for the mass market.
So real quick, paraphrasing, Android One is a recipe that you like OEMs to learn because you tested certain parts and hardware so that they don't have to do hardware testing. Just adhere to that and it seamlessly works together.
Yes. Once they put it all together, it just works much better. And it also enables us to deliver updates to these phones faster, right? So, like for example, users in India who bought Android One phones, when we shipped in India, we shipped on KitKat. We'll get Android Lollipop in the next couple of weeks. And so, you know, it's just a value end. Like most phones aren't even selling with Lollipop, and these people will automatically get Lollipop on their phones.
So can we the OEMs here have a tendency of shipping a lot of new phones almost on a monthly basis?
Monthly basis,
So
yeah.
will this mean that we will see multiple iterations of Android One from these OEMs, or
Yeah, it's completely
just
up
going
to
to
them.
be these two?
No, it's completely up to them.
Ah,
So as like you know, we see these OEMs as well as others looking at like 5-inch phones, and Android One is a different model that we're shifting to, right? But it doesn't change the way they'll be bringing products to market. That's completely up to them how they do their.
so they can still do their 5 phones a month thing, but all of them carrying Android One. Okay.
So you should just think of it as a platform. Our hope is that for the value to mid phones, they just ship Android One because it's a great software experience. The updates are straight from Google, right? And we're going to do Google's going to do a lot of marketing to explain Android One to users in Philippines. So you will see TV campaigns, you will see billboards, you will see digital campaigns as well as like in-store activities to help people understand what these are. Because the reality is, as a lot of people buy phones for the first time, when they walk into the store, they really don't know what to buy. And they get caught up in like 1.3 gigahertz versus 1.4 gigahertz. Does it really, do people know the difference? Like, what does it mean, right? You could have a very fast car, but if you don't know how to drive it, right, it doesn't work very well. So what we would like is, if users basically have an expectation of Android One phones, then they can go into the store and say, show me an Android One phone. And then they pick between all the choices, what are available. And then they can decide 5-inch, 4-inch, 5.5-inch, whatever.
Cool. Well, can't wait for it to launch.
Yeah.
Alright, so you'll have more chances of asking questions later. We have an FAQ after the keynote, and then Caesar is going to stay and mingle with you while you test out the phones in the area. So you'll have more chance to ask him what
Do you have to wait until like the event till you write? Or can I go out and write it already?
Please embargo to 1:30.
Okay, so till 1:30.
pa.
It's a good thing I asked. I was about to tweet. So.
Yeah, but really my request is, give the phones a try, use them, play them, and then
All the
tell
phones
us.
are connected, right? So we can just go to whatever station.
Yeah, I think they were resetting the Wi-Fi or something before the event. They're still setting up things till the last second. But do play with the devices, give us feedback, tell us. For us, like, this is a very first step, a very small step, right? But we're going to keep like working on this. We're going to keep working on Android One to make the phones much better for these markets, but also going beyond just the hardware and the OS. We're starting to think about software services that are catered for Filipino markets, for users like this. Because the Filipino market, for like my belief is that it actually is a predictor of how the world is going to use computing, because the market is very young. It's very savvy about new services, new products, and so you can see new trends come out of here, right? And that's why we want to make sure we're very competitive and as well as customized for this market, because that'll help us prepare for the rest of the world later.
Great.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.